Right to a channel of Light Fluid. Welcome back to the Minotaur Hotel, and they are bringing out some new content. There's 2 updates out so far, only one is out to the public, and that's the one we're going to read today. So let's head back into the hotel. An opportunity I missed when young, with tortures, threats facetious, goads sincere, the kin of lads, now spirited away by suitors strapping, bold, make shouts for joy for kidnapped romance ritualized, a game to show the youth the way and strength of man. An ancient one can push an ancient low, nostalgia unbecoming pushes down, too old to be away so carried now, but yet the longing ravishes me so, to take and be, to be laid claim to, swept so roughly up, away, alike some lad all giddy with the thrill to want it to be, disgraced to want such wanting, but to take that claim myself arouses nary hope, nor dreaming as does being claimed, and loved with tender power pulling close and deep. Down the spiral staircase cut in rock and into the heart of the old hotel. In one hand a length of cloth and a drapery of fire, in the other the rough-knuckled mitt of one's beloved. Shoulders and arms touching, fingers entwined, hooves and boots beating the old floor in sync, with a lovely tail swishing behind. At times the sound vibrating string from Asterion's lyre strapped to his back. Floors, hallways, rooms dating back centuries, connecting to each other as if time had ceased and space bent over itself. Turn right 4 times, turn left 4 times, down a set of stairs, back up again and into a different floor, go through this door and back again. The ground becomes rougher, the walls more irregular, barely lit by the torch. Think now of waves crashing against the beach at night, the roaring sound, the breeze on your face, the sand beneath your feet. A night's comforting darkness too. The Minotaur held your hand and pulled you down the darkest hallway. I swore an oath to never reveal this place to any master. But you... His hand left yours and rose to your shoulders, pulling you close to his warmth. My king of kings, masterful in kindness, none before can compare to you. Enveloped in the Minotaur's warmth, hooves and boots walking side by side, you dove through the dark together. Never was there anyone to whom I so wished to reveal this secret. The corridor's marble gave way to raw, irregular rock, water droplets dripped from an ever taller ceiling. My little vacation spot. What? How? Beautiful, isn't it? The journey alone is worth it. Asterion insists you climb into the boat first, then rolls his pants up and pushes the vessel to the waters. His tail jerks and shivers as his shins waddle through the shore. Is the water cold? Only a bit. It is bearable. He climbs in. The boat rocks from his added weight, but his sturgeon does not lose its balance. He takes a seat in front of you, then readjusts his chlamys when a chilly breeze runs by. It does get cold there, however. You brought warm clothes, correct? I did. Now. You turn your gaze to the island in the distance. Mind explaining this to me? But Asterion does not hear you. His eyes, too, are locked on the island far ahead, his hands clutching the edges of his cloak. He breathes in, to calm down the knot in his throat, and the world shudders. When the realm settles down, the first thing you see is Asterion's little birthmark, the last missing star in this realm's starry sky. Forgive me, I have this tradition of my own. Long ago I made a promise. First to a friend, then to myself, that here I would not allow a master's commands to dictate my appearance. Here I would be free and only myself. I always take a moment to recenter, to imagine my own reflection before crossing the lake. I hope you understand. You nod. No explanation is necessary. The weight and gravity on his face say it all. You being you could never be a problem. What about your laurel wreath? He slides it down to under the folded sleeves of his shirt, takes it off and gives it a good look. He focuses not on the individual leaves, nor the stem, but on what comes to his heart. As much as I love and cherish it, it reminds me of the surface and its rules. But beyond these waters, things are different. Now, what were you saying? I was just asking you what's the explanation for, Of course. I'll tell you everything, but first, let's get moving. Asterion grabs the 2 oars. You take one off from Asterion's hands and sit beside him. You really do not have to. This sort of exercise is nothing to me. I insist. Either do it together or not at all. At least for as long as my arms can take it. Asterion's gaze drifts to the island looming ahead, searching for familiar spots in its dark silhouette. That place is my, shall we say, private vacation spot. For a few centuries now I used to visit when the old masters took extended time off from the hotel. When the ship up above was running smoothly enough, I could spend a few days here. I enjoyed inviting my closest friends. There was a family of mythicals that worked for me for a few generations. They usually came with me. I wish I knew where they are now. They were very dear to me. However, I am hopeful we will meet again. A while ago I picked a few employees and set up a team to look for them. It will take a while, but one day we will meet again. The Minotaur finds his mark, some spot that awakens a dear memory. Despite the darkness, the wetness his eyes glimmered like stars. We drank and feasted only the finest the realm could afford. We played songs and talked the night away. We lived here in this gentle darkness. Recall, back when I took you to the lowest levels of the hotel, that I said I kept secrets? This is one of them. There's no master, before you, was ever privy to this place. And how many more, one can wonder, does he still keep? You row with more eagerness, the little star meets your pace. That island you see? A master of old commanded me to create a replica of his birthplace. For that purpose I sent over a dozen engineers to study and take note of every detail. It was a gargantuan task, but I loved it. I loved the idea of making this place yet more of a home for him. I'll even part way into constructing their recreation, however, he changed his mind. He said it would never feel right in the desert, and that we couldn't get the cobblestones just right. Asterion's tail twitches and jerks, just as he lets out a nervous laugh. But I loathe the idea of tearing it all down. Instead, I pulled what was already designed into the hotel's underground. His tail lashes again, whipping away the memory of all the interrupted work. While managing the old layers, I stumbled on this chamber, a naturally occurring cave with an underground lake of mineral water. It is directly below the statue of Lord Hades, too. As I was no longer authorized to send out my engineers to that master's birthplace to take notes, I abandoned the idea of making it a replica, and continued work as seemed reasonable to me. I took creative liberties, some of which you will notice at a glance. I also... He looked up to the starlit sky above. Alright, how did you get stars down here? Oh, they are not stars. I embedded luminescent stones on the cave ceiling, and wrote a pretty hefty set of contracts to get them to work just right. I had attempted something more like sunlight down here, but nothing I tried ever felt correct. Sadly, it also turns out that making a small sun is both very dangerous and impossible, so that idea had to go as well. This artificial starry sky seemed more suited to place, and perhaps more comfortable. It helps I learned a thing or two from my time in the underworld. You look around. Above you there are numerous dots of light, enough that makes the cave bright as a full moon. Surrounding you the lake is quiet, and only ripples from the presence of you and your beloved. Ahead is a complex of buildings, some scattered about, some connected, united by an architectural style you can't quite place. Your rowing slows and Asterion follows suit. I was thinking about this place for Cotra and Luke suggested we take time off. It is quite scenic, is it not? You sigh in affirmation, appreciation. Asterion squirms in your silence, however. Perhaps it is too big just for the two of us, but there is no other place as romantic in the hotel. If you can excuse the few oddities here and there, I do believe that it is without match. Even from afar it looks amazing, little star. I can't wait to explore it myself. Seeing this and seeing the new facade up above, there's this housing complex in Montreal I got to show you pictures of sometime. I was impressed with the hotel's renovation. This takes things to a different level. You really are quite the talented architect, aren't you? Thanks. When you say architect, Luke told me that nowadays only men who like men take it as a profession. So, does this clearly show that It's a bit of a stereotype. But there's nothing wrong with being gay and an architect. Or bisexual, even. Plus, I'm very glad that you like men. In fact, so do I. We have so much in common. I'm glad you think this way. I'm happy I was made to enjoy the company of men and that you found me. Despite the physical exertion of rowing, you can still spare a second to lay a hand over his knee. And likewise, he rests his own over yours. How big he is in comparison to you, how rough his skin and yet how soft his smile. But you must return to the task, and so your hands unlatch. There is a long way to go before you reach your destination, and so you must row. Perhaps Asterion keeps his pace slow and steady, or perhaps your strength keeps up with his. Regardless, your oars rise and fall together, and the boat's path is true. As you approach, however, Asterion's focus falters. Looking up to the island, his eyes water. He looks away. Want to take a break? He nods. You pull him close and rest your head on his shoulder. You really did outdo yourself with this place. An underground lake with a jewel laid in its middle, with a whole damn starry sky on the cave ceiling. You must have been inspired back then. There is just the slightest redness in his eyes. Not as much as I have been lately. I bet you have a whole lot of ideas boiling in your head, partner. I don't want to dampen any of that, but just give you plenty of room to dream. Asterion snorts. Would it be tacky if I said I'm already living in a dream? How much time and effort you put into everything. I think you earned the right to be a bit tacky. You hold his hand. He squeezes back. There the two of you stay, looking at the distant island, huddling together for warmth. Leo, are there times when you wish a moment could last forever? It's been a whole lot of them lately. A little moo, the slightest groan. If only we had a proper fire and a bottle of wine, I would douse it so the muses could make this moment eternal. I do not wish to ever forget it. Me too, me too. From rarest ambergris, no shivered groan nor pleasure, no response from flower oils so delicate and sweet. But while we trained his arm he lifted, senses brighter grew, and drew toward that vortex under arm, while I drew back against that blushing turgor hold my nostrils. So I only breathed. The air is full of him. His bitter dew makes ravished, so unlike what Eos brings, yet grabs my soul like warming rays, and fills my lungs with him. The air is heavy with his efforts, strains, and power. Sirens call to nuzzle closer, harder. Sirens call a flush upon my cheeks. Rude sirens call a shame beneath my tail, which, hungry, calls a beastly wanton thought. Ungentle, called by Sappho so sweet bitter as to shock each sense to waken, wanting, whimpering life. The island shore was covered in pebbles, some rough and flaking like the desert above, but many more soft and smooth, eroded in the underground lake. While Asterion secures the boat, you look around. Further ahead is a large wall, seemingly surrounding the island's perimeter, with an entrance to the left. A soft breeze passes by, carrying the scents of rocks, underground rivers, and the mysteries contained below the labyrinth. Aside from you, Asterion, and the occasional waves, the whole world is enveloped in a familiar and velvety silence. Asterion finishes with the boat and motions you to follow him. The island awaits. I don't recall you ever mentioning this place's name.
Oh, yes, it does have a name. Oh, well, at 12, you know so much more about me than the people I used to bring in here. You will find it, perhaps, a little dopey. Perhaps even dorky, if I'm using that adage correctly.
Maybe I will. And if you're the one to pick it, I'll sure as hell never let you hear the end of it.
Well, at 12, have mercy.
No can do. Spill the beans.
All right. After I pulled it down here, I started calling this place Mount Persephone.
From the shore it was only a brief uphill climb to what was without doubt the heart of the island. A plaza that, even in this world devoid of people and scarcity alike, was once full of services and graces, blessed as the gathering place of kind people. To one side there was a cathedral, tall and unfinished, and in front of it a small chapel that once harboured a community's worth of life. Workshops, too, of all varieties. This was an extension of a campus of fine arts and handicrafts. All of it illuminated by lampposts tied with sacred knots, which, it would seem, were lit long before you even arrived. Did they ever go out at all during those years of abandonment? But Asterion does not linger for you to ask, nor does his pace slow. He guides you by the hand towards what appear to be woods just outside the plaza, and there really are trees. How can this be? As you breathe in to ask, however, you find the answer yourself. The trees are made of paper, from their barks to their branches and leaves. To be precise, contract parchment, all of it gifted with a simple piece of writing. Hereby a contract is made, binding and eternal unless revoked, with no clause at all. May this paper be everlasting, forever in the shape it was given. Asterion. Trees are made of contracts. Except, that is, for a cluster of dark ones, darker than death, standing farther from the road. But Asterion pulls you further on, past a series of cottages, all the way to a fine area with two great homes. The first is taller, wider than any cottage in the island, as if it were made for a family of inhuman height. But atop the hill stands a final and yet more striking creation. More than a cottage or a home. In front of you is a winding complex of a palace. Unlike any palace you can call to mind, it appears open throughout, no locked door or barred gate. Asterion turns to you. This whole world, the star-reflecting lake, the ripples as the ore breaks water, the plaza alive in death, the ascent to woods and cottages, is a dream. A restful dream of an underground god whose eyes turn to you, wet, perfect, and reflecting it all as he takes your hand. Shoulder to shoulder you go into this home, the last palace of its kind yet alive. The Minotaur followed his traditions well. After the entrance he placed baths so that no guest would ever be forced into the indignity of arriving dishevelled. Decades passed since they last saw use, but look, their waters are still pristine. The murals painted on the walls have not lost their vibrant reds. Towels and toiletries ready for use remain at hand. Go further now, to the courtyard shaded by the dark trees, where the footprints of inhuman dancers, long gone, yet live along with the unlatched flames. Look to your right, from atop the cliff, and you'll see the wave-filled lake and the gem-encrusted ceiling. Look close enough and you may yet see a falling star to bless your wishes. To the left, closer at hand, you'll find a large double-headed axe, unmarred by stains or rust, as well as a corridor leading to 14 rooms. There are chambers for deities old and new, remembered and forgotten, but here cherished and respected all the same. No altar shall gather dust. Climb the stairs, you'll find a small room, its walls painted with griffins, where once wise men and women sat on fine thrones to give guidance to the grief-stricken. Not far from it you'll find a library gifted with shelves upon shelves of vanilla-scented volumes. At its centre a desk of dark wood, with 6 chairs and 3 armchairs. And across from it you shall find an office, not unlike yours on the surface. Now, climb downstairs. Beyond the door with an unusually high latch, see the cellar with barrels of wine and clay jars, as tall as the stoutest men, filled with all that is good for the body and soul. The cellar is another labyrinth, with as many exits as there are rooms in the palace. In the whole complex, only here do the doors bear locks, exquisite as to be child-proofed. Go outside into the courtyard again and witness the workshop where, once, the second greatest weaver performed miracles upon the loom and taught the labyrinth all there is to know about cloth. And that is the workshop where a cloven-hoofed, horn-crowned guest, fugitive from Christian tradition, rediscovered how to work a wood blessed by Night herself. But, my lord, you have yet to see the Minotaur's home. Turn again and go ahead to the building across from the entrance. The living room table has 8 chairs around it. The couch and armchairs can take just as many. The kitchen, however, carries dishes for thrice that number. There is a luxurious master bedroom, made for this realm's conqueror, an equally gifted guest bedroom. It, however, displays a fetid, dark stain on the wall behind one of the beds. On the upper floor there's an entire studio full of musical instruments, many which Asterion's hands could never master. On its walls are a dozen exquisite lyres, large and small, humble and extravagant, some even decorated with golden rosettes. On a shelf there is a set of smaller instruments, fit for the hands of children, and just across the hallway there is a playroom, which doubles as a classroom, though it has only a single reinforced desk and chair for a surely quite hefty boy. The musical instruments sport a multitude of handprints. The playroom is a beautiful mess. There are dozens of books in the library left open. No carpet in the entire place even smells mouldy. And a mural, covered in letters signed as contracts left by hundreds of guests. The carpets bear Asterion's cloven hoofprints, and you follow them back to the living room. The living room table is scratched, no doubt by cups, dishes, utensils, and children playing on it. On a few door frames there are scratches and bumps at the height of Asterion's horns, from moments of clumsiness or careless whimsy. You breathe in. This palace and the world surrounding it smells of aged books, their pages coloured in a fine sepia and smelling of distant vanilla. These walls still echo the footsteps of all who came before, excited children running up and down, obsessed artisans in love with their craft, decent and oh so flawed men and women. It is all lit by Asterion's heatless flames, those unlatched threads of light, each one flickering the memory of carefree days long past, yet all capable of returning. You breathe in, and so does your beloved, and so does this home. It is alive and longs for you.
Sweet mother, I cannot weave. Slender Aphrodite has overcome me with longing for a man.
The Minotaur sings and hums as the both of you inspect the rooms. As he looks at the footprints on carpets, the film of dust on tables, and takes in the quiet of the place, his brow purses, and he exhales the tension from his shoulders. But as he glances at you, he has that smart glimmer in his eyes, the reddened cheeks like the ripened apple resting on the tallest branch, which apple pickers missed. Nay, missed not, but could not reach. When opportunity arises, you lay on him every tender love-making of young couples, honeyed whispers by his ear, the boiling trail of your fingertips on his forearm, a hug, tender and possessive from behind. He giggles as you hug him and breathe on his ear.
I expected this place to need more cleaning up than it does.
Is that a complaint? He puts his hand over yours.
Not at all. We can start our vacation sooner.
And how else to start, if not with a humble yet fine meal? The two of you sit across from each other in the living room, who enjoy bread, cheese and wine, accompanied by Asterion's song delighting clear-sounding lyre. Ah, good master, may you sleep on the breast of your delicate friend. The wine pulls the Minotaur's fingers forward, demanding quicker plucking of the lyre. When he cannot sing, you speak and fill the silence. The spirits too make demands out of you and compel bold questions. I couldn't help but notice a little thing about this place. It has 2 bedrooms. His fingers once again slow.
Why, yes. One is for myself, the other is for guests. Most of you only had someone over, and they perhaps indulged too much in drink to be taken to their lodgings. But why'd you bring it up? Was there something wrong with it? Is it the wine stain on the wall?
I was just wondering how we'll sleep tonight. His fingers stop entirely. He looks away from you with a smile before looking back at you, expectant.
Well, how do you think we'll spend the night?
I don't want to push your boundaries. It's all up to you. The Minotaur lets himself sink onto the depths of the outrageously soft sofa, every worry and fear melting away. His tail, however, swishes left and right, and he sways his hooves as if preparing to run. He had a devil-touched mind.
Have we not already slept together a number of times, but always on the couch?
Indeed.
And moreover, on top of that, it would shame me before Zeus, Lord of Hosts, dishonour you of all people with the guest room. You, my dear Leo, deserve far more than that.
I wouldn't put it in those terms, but perhaps I would like it if we,
Yes, we are on the same page. I know exactly what to do. I must erect a new abode for you, grandiose, luxurious, fitting for a king such as yourself. It must be twice this one's size, nay, thrice bigger than this very island. It would not be fit in the slightest to allow you here amongst my dust and trinkets. Oh, Lord of mine, you truly deserve more than what my room may offer. Oh, no.
His smile, godless, his soul, unforgivable.
Does my lord not want the finest pillars, widest chambers, tallest ceilings? It will only take a month or 3 to draw up your palace.
Don't you dare.
Walls made of marble. Floors of, yet more marble. An onyx for the pillars.
I swear I'll break your brushy in half if you even try. Your pleas are met with a life-rending giggle interrupted, venom spilling onto his voice.
And there's only one way to solve this. I shall take the guest bedroom myself, while you take my suite as your own.
Asterion!
Only the finest for my lord.
You're just messing with me.
It would be proper to treat my lord with petty japes. Perhaps you are just cranky from a long day. Why not join me here on the couch so that I may lull you into sleep? Then we can do as always and wake up together, in the living room.
Back's been killing me from sleeping on the couch.
Then, my king, my lord, a sovereign of mine heart, please tell me what is your desire. I wish only to realize it to its fullest.
You're terrible.
All at once a devil's touch evaporates from him. His tail rubs soft and slow against the sofa cushion. Please say what you want, Leo.
You go up to him and stand looking down at the bull. You wrestle the fur between his horns. Can't we just sleep together on the same bed? He sets his lyre down on the coffee table. And just as suddenly the evil returns.
Can we? It is not untoward for me to share your bed. But you are my lord. Your rule is law. Such things are always best left up to your judgment alone.
For the lesser offences, the gods raze villages to the ground and toppled empires. And you, master of the realm, here you'll perish before your prisoner. You're killing me. The unruly gentle calf butts the base of his horns against your palm.
Perhaps you should command me, Leo. With all pleasure I shall obey you.
The unruly Minotaur has tested your patience for long enough. Now is the time for decisive action, and the leader of your pedigree employs no half measures. You pounce on top of your subject, even if the two of you must sink together into mutual ruin and into the excessively soft sofa. Nothing will stop you. With the element of surprise, you shove him onto his back and straddle him to prevent any escape. You must not fight back, so you restrain his hands above his head by entwining your fingers with his. Do you think I ever believed in gentle leadership?
No.
Like a lion, you go for his neck, and lay kisses until his giggles turn into laughter.
My king, no. Please, anything but this.
You drift up to his ears and lay half a dozen kisses on each, even if they shift back and forth to avoid you, even if you must nip a little to keep them in place. I gave you all the chances to avoid this fate, and your hubris you only gave me sass.
No, Asterion, there'll be no mercy for you. Please, I'll do all of you ask of me. Anything but the ears.
Oh, you will obey me, all right. A small whimpering grumble escapes his throat, and his giggles settle to hear your command. His starry eyes gaze up to you, expectant. You hover your face in front of his, making sure his attention is directed to your lordship. We will sleep together in the big bedroom. This is my sovereign will, Asterion. That guest bedroom is unfit for me and my consort. There's a foul odour, and for my own personal enjoyment, I cannot let you become tarnished by it.
Oh.
When his shy eyes wander, you grab him by the chin, adjusting his head to look right at you. Hey, eyes on me. You will bend to my will. Do you understand? His chest gallops, his smile is breathless, his legs squeeze together.
Yes, sir, whatever you desire.
And I'm not nearly finished. When we return to the service, you will sleep together with me in the master's suite. That bedroom you sleep in is unfit for a consort of mine, and thus unacceptable. It is an insult to us all. Asterion starts to arch his back, pressing his rump into the sofa, as his face grows yet hotter. Enough even for you to feel. Besides, I wish to have you nearby for my own enjoyment. What would happen when the impulse to kiss and hold you overtakes me, when you're far away in that cramped place? How can you sleep peacefully when your lord's needs can go untended? Against the sofa, his tail shifts in unease, in search for words in need. Answer me now.
My king, my beloved, I could not bear it. Please forgive me for ignoring your needs, and...
His breath is as though he had run a race. And?
Thank you, sir, for blessing me with your desire. I accept and want to share a bed with you.
You let go of his arms, so you can support his head while you lean down to lay kisses on his cheeks. Good. To go into the night unable to sleep with my love would be fatal to my heart. He moves a groan as he leans up to nuzzle your chest and neck.
I love you too. Again, thank you.
For what?
Thank you for offering. Thank you for wanting me, for entertaining my jokes and playing along. I do want to sleep together with you. Not because of the bedroom. I'm quite satisfied with that small one. But because of you.
You let go of him and roll over to the side, still clinging to a hand, however. Asterion goes quiet for a minute as he gathers his thoughts, and allows the roiling blood in him to cool down, or he sits up to match your lounging posture.
When I stop and think, it is such a wild idea. Part of me still finds all of this quite unreal. As if the entire world stopped making sense, and laws far kinder and more beautiful took reign. I'll live this dream with you, and I will dream with you.
Good, thank you.
I will miss the couch, though. The sun hits it just right when it is rising.
It's a very good couch. As your king, I can allow us to sleep there every now and then. Though I'll admit that the sun's actually my enemy here. It interrupts my cuddling time with you. I can't forgive the offence. It must pay for its crime. He giggles, then looks up to the ceiling.
So, the ultimate goal of your campaign was to hold me?
Devilish, wouldn't you say? Though it seems you like it, going by how often you push yourself closer to me.
I do like it, yes. But I had to ask. It is comforting just to hear you confirm it.
That I want to cuddle you, hold you close as we fall asleep, and closer as we wake up. That I want to hug and kiss you first thing in the morning. He shifts in his seat. That you're handsome and lovely, and that seeing you pleases me. That your voice is music to me, that it brings me peace. That even your smell puts me at ease. A whimper escapes from his throat. Is that what you wanted, or should I continue?
If it please you to do so, I would not object.
But what I have to say next is different. Perhaps it's too much for a soul as sensitive as yours.
I like different things.
You sit up and look at him. You lay your gaze at your bull, and even just this makes the blush on his nose darken. Very well. I like that I like holding you from behind and tracing the contours of your back with a finger. I can reach around and feel the strength of your hips, or the warm sparse fur on your belly. I love how fuzzy you are. I can't get enough of rubbing the back of your neck with my nose. Sometimes you shudder, moan, and push yourself closer to me. I can't get enough of that, especially. The Minotaur squeezes his legs together, wrapping his tail around to his front, holding it on his lap. Well, you need to look down to notice it. His face is flushed and the ears are fluttering. Are you all right?
You fill me with need, Leo.
I hope that's not a bad thing.
Absolutely not. It's quite pleasant, inspiring perhaps. Though I hope to be the one riling you up tonight, not the other way around. And you're exceedingly good at that. But thank you for wanting me. Thank you for also understanding I may need a little more time before we consummate. Teasing is one thing. I hope it's not strange how enjoyable it is when you tease me, but
you just want to feel really, fully ready for jumping in. And I want you to take as much time as you need, and anything to help you feel more safe, I'll do. He nods again, quite hard, 3 times.
If I am not ready to make love with you, I want to share a bed, both here and anywhere you lay your head.
You scooch over hip to hip. You both breathe in the moment and feel each other's warmth. Then you jab in the side with your elbow. In the meantime, while you get ready, I can tease you some more.
Huh?
The velvety silence of Asterion's sweet embraces you, and so does his warmth as you lay your head on the breast of your delicate friend. He pulls you in with his arm. He turns his head to you and nuzzles you with his nose. How many times have you and the Minotaur slept together, good lord? Too many to count by now, and yet is the first one where you do so in a proper bed, unlike couch-sleeping heathens. However, your defiled ways remain. Asterion holds up his tablet and illuminates your faces with the pale light of disposable entertainment. You and Asterion are enraptured by a presentation on the use of the golden ratio and the design of both musical instruments and recording spaces, and how it might affect their acoustics. Asterion's flushed snout, redder than the apple pickers could not gather, nuzzles the top of your head. Together you drift to night's gentle sleep. Awoke from dreaming, back in rictus arched, unbidden I recall my chant on knees before Priapus, seeking blessing his. Priapus, oh, have you now blessed me here? Have I been made to take your bounty there? Might be fecund, yielding. Damn it. Priapus, oh, have you now blessed me here? Have I been made to take your bounty there? Am I to be as fecund, yielding as the earth, prepared and eager to be ploughed? Priapus, please, your sweat to nourish growth, your seed to fill what begs for fullness. Please, my crying out for fertile power so full. Of wanton need, I leak like udders grown to tenderness, and that which drips out now makes me require of him as much as man could sow, or more to root it deeply be. Primordial Eros, you draw out from depths, you draw with warmth and tension arched to depths. You draw my knees to ground, my tail to sky, my nostrils flare into his scent, your goad. The Cyprian lady gave this fertile land, and Eros' boundaries fenced and hugged it safe, which you have tilled and ploughed and fecund made. Now he must see the ready earth lay claim. Inspirer you of greed, Priapus, lord of virile potency, of ground awake for claim for seed, for roughest work done now. Please now, with smiling Aphrodite's hand and loose-limbed Eros' dart thrust home, dig deep. Too much is said in dreams of hunger deep and shameless, that a man ought to keep in check. Ah, man, use impulse to control the whole, this impulse to receive on bended knee. You sink your feet on the black sand. There are pebbles mixed in, smooth and cold. The water laps the tips of your toes before receding back to the lake. It's morning, though you wouldn't be able to tell without a watch. In the underground, the only indicator of time passing are the stars, which fade in and out every few hours. But it's peaceful here in a way not even the hotel can ever be. Even if the sky and the trees are artificial, if the unlatched flames don't burn hot, this place brims with serenity, history and life. Does Asterion think the same? With a flame by his side, he writes in a notebook. He's been absorbed by it since breakfast. What are you writing?
Well, some poems. A few have come to mind lately.
Has being in the underground again inspired you?
Well, yes, let us say the underground.
Can I read them? He drops his pen, his ears flutter.
Of course. I'd like to hear your thoughts about them someday.
He puts the pen back on the page he was writing, closes the notebook and leaves it by his side, away from you. Can't I read it now?
No, at any other time, however, you may.
Are you embarrassed of your own writing? His tail shifts.
Perhaps.
Before you can insist, Asterion sinks his hooves in the cobalt-coloured sand. His gaze drifts to you, and to the waters lapping the shore ever so softly. The stars glimmer reflects from his eyes. They could contain all there is in the night sky.
You recall when I told you not to have shame of me?
I do, yeah. But now that you bring it up, I should say there's no chance that that'd ever happen. It's really nothing to be ashamed of, actually. I count myself lucky to have you by my side. The Minotaur's gaze returns to the sky, or perhaps to the cave ceiling. For a second he even looks back and searches the trunk of the colossal dark tree. When he looks back at you, the air around him seems richer from his calm, the frankness of his voice and the ancient grace in his eyes.
There are reasons to, in fact. That I am a bastard, a hybrid, and died a coward's death. That I was acquitted at first. I found a home in the underworld of Hades, and yet a rigged trial brought me to this realm for an eternity of humiliation. That you found me in that cold room in such a sorry state, that even today I struggle with simple things all take for granted. That I hide mine and this realm's true nature from almost everyone. That, as we are enjoying this moment, young Nikos is out there in the valley doing dirty work for our benefit. Make no mistake, there is shame to be found in me, to be felt in me. You lay a hand on his leg, your gaze locks with his. Stop with that, that's not right. I will argue each and every one of those things however many times I need to, however many times you need. All that past is no reason to... Silence now, please. You are kind and wise, a true king, but you will listen to me. I have much to be ashamed of, just as much as I really do have reasons to be proud. Perhaps my pride should be greater for each of those things imposed on me, but even then I cannot look at one without the other. I cannot live a lie. Asterion looks up, perhaps to the place where a moon should be. That young man, Oscar, he gave me much to think about. I always thought of myself as a monster, just as surely as the rain is wet and the fire is dry. It is different when you are mythical like Luke, born of a lineage similar to yourself. It makes you different, but in a way that is correct. That is not how I was born. My mother was cursed, and she did what she did. But when I looked at Oscar, and saw his eyes, looking at me as if it was all a miracle, the very possibility of someone considering him a monster disgusted me. How could it be? How could anyone mistreat him, a boy so polite, carrying his heart on his sleeve as he did? It was as if the horizon opened itself, and from that starry window he emerged. He swallows the knot on his throat. When he asked who my father was, I lied. He was looking for his own father. Telling him the truth about my birth would injure him forever. And so I lied. Where are you going with this? Oscar cannot be a monster. And as long as that is the truth, neither can I. And if I name myself terrible, reprehensible, worthless, then would I not be spitting on your love for me? That I cannot do. For you, for Oscar, for all others. I do have many reasons to be ashamed of myself, Leo, but I am doing my best not to be. This relates to my body, too. Regards for all the mythicals that have come and gone, I never thought I could really be loved in the romantic sense. It has been difficult. Is this about us being intimate? We're in no hurry at all. I won't rush you. No, you misunderstand. I just struggle to believe that you desire me in the carnal sense. But I know better. Even if it is hard for me to believe, I have faith in you. So please, have no shame in me.
A shift in his seat, a low little groan.
When you look at me and I catch that fire in your eyes, it is as if something inside me heals.
He looks down to your hand, still on his leg, and places his own over yours. His fingertips are rough, almost scratchy, yet how tender is his touch, how lovingly he entwines his hand with yours. In the dark, it is impossible to tell where one ends and the other begins.
I like it when you touch me, look at me, with no attempt to hide what you feel. When you hold my hand, grab my tail, whenever you play with me, really. When you surprise me with your affections, as if your heart was overflowing with warmth. It means the world to me.
He raises your hand to his bare chest, that beating, unceasing heart of his. His fingertips drink up your warmth in want, need, and love.
Were you perhaps apprehensive of me fearing your touch, your gaze?
Would you blame me if I did? Given everything you've been through, it's reasonable to assume you would fear. Your fingers dig on the short fur of his chest. That you would fear a master's touch.
That makes sense. I see why you would think that.
The air of grace nobility returns to his eyes.
But it's been almost 2,000 years since it all changed in this realm. I had a long time to recover from the worst of it. However, you are correct. I do not much appreciate being touched, most of the time. Perhaps you notice that I tend to freeze. Even if it's benign and pleasant, it can still become overwhelming very quickly. But that rule does not apply to you. Your touch, more than anyone else's, I do appreciate. Can I ask why? Because I love you, and because it shows that you want me, that you have feelings for me, and that makes all the difference. I suppose you could say that every time you touch me, look at me with that fire in your eyes, it is proof that all the nobility gives way to something else. Humble, mundane, almost innocent. That I am deserving of love.
You lay a hand on his cheek and guide his gaze to yours. You've healed countless souls over the centuries. Now it's your turn. Allow me to be your healer. You two come together. The seal between your lips is precious and tender, rough and imperfect, like all that is human. If only mortals could live as kisses do, made of glory and love, until their brief end, yet immortal in how their ghosts persist on lovers' lips. When only the phantom of a kiss remains, Asterion nuzzles your nose.
I suppose I never needed to ask you then, not to be ashamed of me.
Not when I'm this proud of you. He looks at his own hands, lit by flame and streaked with shadows. With eyes closed, he feels every inch of his body and puts to sleep what fear remains.
I suppose then, you do know best. You are right.
The fairest of all hybrids rises.
Leo, even if I ask for a few days to prepare, know that I'm eager to lay with you. To make love. So, if it makes you happy to touch and enjoy me, I would be happy and quite encouraged if you did.
His tail flicks. His shyness?
Would you join me for a swim, Leo, my one and true king?
You take his hand, and together you enter the water's embrace. The lake is pleasantly warm, the rocky ground yet warmer. Asterion notices your surprise.
This too is my handiwork. This section of the shore is heated naturally.
Being an architect and engineer isn't enough for you, is it? You must also be a geologist. But this is not the moment for such flattery. Your gaze locks on your beloved, his broad chest, shining fur, swishing tail, all inviting you to approach. And you're as handsome as you are ingenious. He wades in your direction too. And as for me, you'd rather I just be shameless.
Yes, my lord, Leo. Nothing would make me happier than your touch, to physically know and fulfill your desires.
He takes your hand and lays it on the middle of his stomach.
I am yours.
It's time to adore and worship his chest in all its glory. You dive in. It shifts, spasms and relaxes as your breath and tongue ravage the furry surface of his skin. When you slow down, his chest relaxes and turns soft enough to use the firm pillow, an idea which seems to please him, judging from his crooked smile. And when your pace picks up, it goes back to uncontrollable spasms of pleasure. His gentle hands only barely hold on to your sides as you dive in. What an amazing chest you have.
Thank you, Leo. That is all yours.
Mine and only mine?
Yes, 1,000 times, yes.
His neck is tender, perfect for nibbling. As soon as your tongue grazes his fur, he hugs you, clinging on to you his safe harbour. In between whimpers, while he kisses Adam's apple, he arches his back and whispers your name. When you move to his ears, his grasp tightens. He must hold to keep control of himself. Every gentle touch of your teeth stirs the twitching in his fingers. Close as you are, you cannot let the opportunity pass. You're loving this, aren't you? He nods. Oh. The time for decisive action is at hand. Like a hero of old, you lunge to grab your darling by his once flower-crowned horns. He bends and bows for you, and your lips meet at just the angle you command. Surprise takes the Minotaur, but pleasure conquers him. With a shuddering whimper, his arms wrap around you to pull closer and share his need. All tension evaporates from him the more you pull, the more you direct and command. Never has his tongue been warmer, nor his spirit as fiery. Never has a man been so certain of his own beauty and of all mankind as your lips tell it to his. When at last you release your grip, he has to catch his breath. So, you like having your horns pulled? He snorts, his tail swishes, he presses himself against you in dire need of your love. Oh. We could do a lot more, but my voice is slowly starting to give up. You lay your hands on his hips, and he does the same. Your lips meet as they have 100 times already, in the pleasure and pain of how brief a kiss is. A kiss, a moment of love, eternal despite its briefness. There is nothing else so capable of bringing lost times back to one's memory. The texture of a beloved's lips, the smell of his breath, the sudden shifting and twitching as his fire rages. And yet, our good Lord, oh, let tomorrow please not come. A mortal's grasp can only last so long. So that's the current end of Minotaur Hotel. The next build is already up on their Patreon, so if you'd like to see that and help support the development of the end, you can pop over to Patreon and go there. I will put the link in the description. So coming up this weekend, if I remember rightly, it is Mark's Route and Burrows. We also have more Chainier this month. We have more Parker in After Class, and also the new update for Lord Tom will be here very soon. That's already come out, and I just need to find some time to record that one. And all being well, we'll have more Brock the Investigator, and we'll get back to Tennis Ace as well, as they got pushed back due to other things. So quite a few things to look forward to in November. And as always at this point, thanks to all my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon. You're very much appreciated. And my top patrons are Andy Peng, Aaron Fox, Sebastian, Baker, Brian Hall, Gobus Visser, Dissonance, Exact, Grizz, Harvest Mouse Productions, Evan King, Cartech, Matt Kenya, Gracie Sievan, Lark Huskerton, Hyperdefined, Greylock, Alan Mayer, Arahamatarasu, Tiger Cub, Smuto, Spiderling, Rafu, and Omar. That's it for now. I'm going to take something from my throat. Bye for now.